Hello everybody and welcome to another Flutter video tutorial. In this video we are going to continue our weather app. As you know, we did the part 1 and part 2 and this is the part 3. We are talking about our weather class. So before I gonna explain this, if you are new in this channel, you can subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for not losing other videos. So as you can see at the top, I have an API key and also I have open weather map URL, which I put an string URL inside this. So what is the API key and where I brought this URL? So I brought these two from the open weather website. Let's open that. As you can see on the screen, I opened this open weather map and I created an account inside this website. And inside this website, if you click on the API, and you can see there is current weather data. Inside the current weather data, you can click this API doc. So inside this API doc, you can see many things here. So let's come down in here and the city. We can find there is something called by geographic coordinate. So we need the coordinate by geographic. So as you can see, the API Open Weather has a link for us. So if we want to get the geographic coordinate, so we can copy this URL by clicking here. As you can see, this portion is the same which is in our app, as you can see here. So you can copy that and paste it here, and also in here it takes a latitude is equal to lat. We can give the latitude and also we can give the longitude, and at the last we can give the app ID as API key. What is API key? You can click here, or you can go to inside your account, you can click this API key, then you can click this API key here and you will get this key which is your API key, and you can copy this and bring it inside your project and create a const API key and put your API key inside. And also don't forget to use your own API keys. So let me continue with weather model. What's the weather model class? The weather model class has another method inside which is returning a future dynamic. This method names is get the city name. This string city name comes from this patch. As you enter the city name, it will take the city name. So when the data is coming in future, then we are using this async. And after that, as you can see, we use the network helper, as I explained that before. When we call this network helper, we need to give it a URL. So as you can see, I create network helper object, and inside this we give the URL. What is our URL? Our URL is the helper. Yeah, inside that helper we have the open weather map and the city and the API keys. Yeah, this complete our APIs and you can call it and use it inside the app. So as you can see, I called this $ open weather map URL. We defined that before in here, which you can see the URL is stored inside this, and after that by putting the question mark and q is equal to a $city name, and we get the city name from this method parameter, and put an and sign and app id is equal to a $API key, which is our API key we created here. So now our URL is completed and it will go to the helper class, and the helper class will check this URL and process on that and will give us the data. So what else we have here? We have a variable weather data. We have to wait for the data. So when we get the data from the network helper dot get data method, as you can see we have this get data method inside the helper, and after that we will return this weather data where we call this weather module. So where we call this, as you remember, this loading screen which is inside our UI loading screen, we call this weather model. Inside weather model we access the get location weather. What is get location weather? Let's see. So inside the weather, so we have a future type dynamic get location weather, and again we use the async, and as you can see I create an object of the location which we get the location from this location. And after using this await keyword inside the location, I get the current location here. So when we get the current location, then we can use the longitude and latitude inside our network helper to complete our URL. So again, as you can see, the object of network helper, it takes the URL, which is here, and again it takes the latitude from where, from the location which we get from this location dot latitude, and also inside the longitude we pass the location from the location dot longitude, and also at the last we are going to give the API keys which we defined it here at the top. And now as you can see our URL is completed. In here another variable we have the weather data. We use the network helper object and get the data from here, and then we return the weather data wherever it calls. And now go back to loading screen. As you can see we call it here and we have the complete URL and data. So now you could understand that we are going to, in this location screen, by taking the weather data with URL, by putting inside this variable and pass it to this location screen to show the data for our user. So let's go to this location screen. So as you can see in location screen we have a stateful widget. Inside this stateful widget we have a final location weather, and inside the class we have an object of weather model, weather model. We have 4 variables here. Number 1 is let int the temperature, and number 2 is let string the weather icon, and we have the let string city name, and the last one is string weather message. As you can see on our emulator that we have the int temperature and the icon, and also we have the message with the name of our city. And again we have this init state. As you know, it will run on the starting points of our app and it runs only one time. And what is inside this init state? Here is the update method which has widget.locationWeather. So what is this update UI? As you can see here we have the update UI method which has a parameter dynamic weather. Inside this method I created a set state. What is set state? As you know, when we are changing something in our app, put them inside the set state method. So inside the set state method what I put is an if condition checking if the weather data is not null. If it is equal to null, then it will show the temperature is equal to 0, the weather icon which you can see here, an error will appear in the message. It will give unable to get the weather data and the city name will be empty. So what if it has data? If it has data, then we have a double temp which take the weather data, the main and the temp. What is this main and temp? So let's go back inside the web page of the open weather and see the main and temp. So guys, when we come down here in the example of API call, in here we have the weather URL. Inside this we have our data here. So inside this JSON data, as you can see, we have something called main, and inside this main we have the temperature, as you can see here. So this temperature is this temperature, as you can see here, and also it appear on our app here. So let's see this temperature is equal to temp dot to int. So in here we get the data as a double and our temperature variable is integer, as you remember here, and we change it to int. So down here is a variable condition. Inside the condition we take the weather 0 ID. What is this 0 and ID? And let's go again inside the website and let me show you what is this. We have the coordinate. So as you can see, there is multiple child. So the weather child 0, and inside the child 0 we need the ID, which is here as you can see, and also we use the weather child 0 and use the ID from there. Next line, weather icon is equal to weather dot get icon, and put the condition inside this get weather icon. So where is this method? This method is inside our weather. We have the get weather icon method here, which has an integer condition parameter. Then whenever we call this method, we have to give the condition int value. As you can see, we pass the condition from here. And inside this method, we have multiple if and else condition. This all will check the condition whether if the condition is less than 300, it will return this icon. Else if it is less than 400, it will return this shower icon. Else if condition is less than 600, it will show this icon. If it is less than 700 and also the 800 in here, if the condition is equal to 800, then the 800 is sunny, then we can pass this icon. So let's see this value. Let's go inside the website. As you can see, the weather ID is 200 main, and the condition is clear as you can see here. So that's why we are using this 800 is equal to sunny. And also if it is less than equal to 804 cloudy, as you can see this icon here. So if none of them, then it will pass this icon. So guys, I don't want to make this video lengthy. I will explain the others on the next video. So guys, if you like it, you can thumbs up, and if you are not still subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe our channel, and if you have any question, you can comment it below, and see you in the next video.